It's a serious conversation that you as parents might need to have with your kids. It's the discussion about drugs, and if they're using it, you need to know what to do next. So here to tell us what we should do, we have the experts in studio. This is Greg Hanley, the CEO of SOBA Life, and Alex Dragici, the Director of Operations. How are you guys?
Good. Good.
I just saw you on Monday over on San Antonio Living.
Yeah.
Spreading the word to daytime at 9. This is great news. So the first thing we want to discuss is kids in drugs, because unfortunately it's a little more common than we'd like. Isn't that right?
I think that people be surprised at what's going on these days. What used to be happening that kids would grow out of, they're getting stuck on a lot of things these days that they can't get out of. And there's quite a change in the age group, quite a change in the type of drugs that they're using. And we're seeing people that come in that are young, that the parents think that they maybe are smoking pot or drinking a little bit, and or a lot or too much, and they're finding that they're on a lot harder drugs that they don't expect to find them on.
Well, let's reach out to the parents for a moment, because maybe they don't know if their kid is or not. They might suspect something. How can we tell? What should we tell the parents to look for in their kid? Maybe behavior changes, physical changes. What should they look for?
Well, naturally, the signs that they see. Behavior is probably the easiest. Mm-hmm. And the first thing is that mom's intuition is probably the best thing to figure out what's going on, or that something is going on. Moms, when you feel that your kids are on drugs, they're probably on drugs. And that would be a good time to maybe get a drug test. Mm-hmm. And find out exactly what is going on with them. Behavior changes for sure are, and teenagers, they'll act a little bit different, but this is kind of if they just are getting mean, their friends are changing,
maybe the grades in school are changing.
Yeah, grades in school, they're not liking sports, they're staying up really late, they're just acting a lot different, then something is probably going on, and it would be a good idea to find out what's happening.
So this is something you should not be avoiding. You're just kind of brushing off of these are things you see with your child. So the communication would definitely be key here, I'd say, with a parent and their kid.
Yeah, talk to them. Mm-hmm. And there's some things that you can do kind of in advance. I have a 17-year-old and a 13-year-old, and we've been talking about this since they were very young, and talking about the things that they like and the things that they do, good grades they have, good sports, we get along good together, and how if they try things that all of that can change rather quickly. Mm-hmm. And just having the conversation throughout the time that they're going to start running into it is really a good idea, and being able to have that line of communication has been key. At my house, also, it's known throughout my community that I will drug test my kids, and people think that there's like privacy issues or something like that, and it's not that we do test them all the time, or really, I don't even know if I've actually tested them, but my kids are able to tell their friends that they're going to get tested, so they don't have to be the not cool kid. It gives them kind of an out for that.
Well, I think it is perfectly just fine. It is very cool to not do drugs. So I'm sure that your kids are the cool kids in school.
Yeah, being sober is cool.
Being sober is cool. Alex, I want to bring you in the conversation real quick. We're talking about drug tests. Is this something that's easy, accessible for parents?
Yeah, it's really easy. Pretty much any pharmacy or Walgreens, CVS,
mm-hmm. Okay.
they carry really simple drug testing kits. Also, if somebody wants to come by SOBA, Texas, the facility, we're giving out free drug test kits that they can take or come do it there. And just look it up at SOBA, Texas, get the address, give us a call, and schedule a time to come by.
Very good. Well, this is something that's important. So you mentioned privacy before, too. There's nothing private about this. It's very serious, and you as a parent should feel like it's okay to step in, and I guess you guys are giving us the green light that is it okay to step in and if you're seeing these symptoms.
Yeah, absolutely. And it always starts with asking. If you ask your kid to take a drug test and they do it, that's because they're not on drugs. The second they start avoiding it, you see them shifting. It's pretty immediate to know if...
Welcome back. We're continuing our conversation this morning with Greg and Alex from SOBA, Texas. In fact, we were talking during commercial break. You had some interesting facts to make this a little more personal to San Antonio, specifically Bexar County, and how drugs have impacted our youth.
Yeah, well, we looked up some numbers. I mean, they're a couple years back. It's kind of hard to get, you know, what is like really accurate for, you know, today right now, but in Bexar County, they're saying that there's a little bit over 9,000 heroin users, and this is from 2010. So the numbers are growing. You know, it's San Antonio is really underserved. So even knowing, you know, somebody to physically put down on a chart, yeah, I'm a user. It's a tough one to kind of gauge.
I'm sure that that's barely skimming the surface, also.
It is, but. Pretty much anywhere that you are, or I am in San Antonio, whether it's, you know, at a restaurant, going out, get coffee, and somebody says, oh, you're with SOBA, they instantly, it seems to be pretty much every family in town has an immediate family member or close friend, somebody that is affected by this.
You know, and it seems that way. And as we started, I thought, you know, I really can't relate, but I can. I know somebody that's very close to me that this has affected his life, and now he's on his recovery. And so I know this is very effective and it works. But we want to talk about something a little more specific, especially something that just recently came out in the news that can be a huge danger, especially to kids, and it involves alcohol, but not just any kind of liquid alcohol, powdered alcohol.
Yeah, it's called Palcohol. And apparently there's a company in Phoenix that is making it, and it is powdered alcohol. The pictures that we saw look kind of like, you know, other drugs. Looks like coke or meth or something like that. And the things that it's going to be used for, it's really scary for us that work in this. It's kind of, because they have disclaimers on it, that it only should be mixed with water, put on, I guess they're putting it on guacamole and salads and things like that. But in the world of recovery and working in treatment, we know that people will be doing a lot of awful things with this. And but they disclaim it, so it kind of makes it okay. So, you know, that you shouldn't snort it, you shouldn't, I don't know what else you're going to do with this, but I don't even know what a reason for this to be allowed is. We have enough things that people are having to deal with, but Alex knows a little bit more about it.
Yeah, it's actually so difficult to even talk about. It's
so new,
and it's really new, and we heard about it by trending on social media is the first way we found out about it.
You know, we actually reported on it yesterday and the day before throughout the news stations because it's a new thing, and of course it's something that people will not be familiar with. It hasn't been approved yet, that's what I know, but it's unfortunate that something like this that might be, the users or the makers say, oh, we did it for the working man who might want a little drink after he's done out camping or something like that. And that might be understandable, but it's unfortunate that there is going to be a dark side to this where people will take advantage of it.
Yeah.
The working camper,
working camper.
they know how to get a case of beer out to where they're going or whatever they're doing there. There is no reason for this except for if somebody is going to be able to make money introducing a new drug. And it is a drug. I don't care what anybody says. There's going to be bad effects of this. There's going to be people who are going to try it in ways that they do. And we were also with Dr. Butts yesterday, our medical director, and we were talking about there's a new painkiller that is a mix between Oxycontin and Vicodin. I forget what it's called, but the big deal about it is that it doesn't have Tylenol in it, so it should be better for you. It shouldn't affect your liver in a painkiller. And the opiates it's an epidemic right now with young people. We're seeing probably 90% of our young clients are people that have an opiate addiction. And it almost always, when I'm talking to young kids who have a problem, and a lot of them are on heroin. They always start, almost all of them started out with taking painkillers from grandma or somebody who's sick, and they just are thinking they're playing around or they're partying or doing something, and they get addicted to this, and then they can't afford it or they can't find it, and the withdrawals from it make them so sick that they'll try smoking it just once, and then once they do that, it's kind of it's very hard to get them off it again.
It seems as if it's a domino effect of just going downhill from there.
Yes, and
very fast.
It's like time sensitive. It goes from a certain age. We see pills up to about 16 to 18, and then they're smoking it from 18 to 20, and then they're doing really bad things. They're injecting it past that.
Well, as you can hear, this is very, very serious stuff, and if maybe this might be describing somebody that you know or somebody that's close to you, after the break we're going to let you know where you can turn to, of course, our friends here at SOBA Texas. And welcome back, guys. We're here with Greg and Alex from SOBA Life, and we've been discussing some things that you might be seeing with maybe a family member, maybe a friend, or just something that you might encounter. This is all great information that you need to know, and now we can tell you where you need to go if to recover. If you need some recovery or you want to send somebody your way, it's SOBA Recovery. So tell us about the facility.
You can.
Well,
go ahead, Alex.
There's quite a few facilities. So we have a new one, Reason Why, here in San Antonio, which is SOBA Texas. We're over by SeaWorld. It's on a 10-acre ranch, beautiful setting. It's not meant to feel like punishment or that you're in a hospital. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be very comfortable to be there. I mean, it's not a resort, but it's not, it's a mix in between, you know. But there are other facilities, and so when people are calling right now, since we're not open, they are going either to Malibu or different facilities in California, which you can see those on SOBA Recovery. And so when we do open here, there's some people that are going to transfer back to San Antonio for the outpatient part.
I see.
Well, and the outpatient is actually an aftercare.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to think that somebody could get this in 30 days, but it takes a bit longer. So we have, they start out detoxing and then have their treatment, and then generally we suggest that they go, we have some apartments that they move into a community of young people that come to treatment that can be anywhere from however long that it takes for them to really get a handle on this.
So it's a feel as if you're continuing your life, just an everyday life. It doesn't seem like you're in a hospital, that you are being punished. To me, this looks very comfortable.
Yeah,
Well,
it's supposed to be really comfortable.
Very
so,
good.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the people that are coming to you, the patients, are they at a point in their life where, you know, some people say, well, they won't get better until they hit rock bottom. Are they at rock bottom here, or are you catching them before they get there?
We're trying to catch them before they get there. You need to be proactive with this. Rock bottom sometimes means that somebody isn't going to live through what they're doing, and I'm not a big fan of tough love or throw them on the street. These aren't bad people. They're sick, and they don't want to feel, and they don't want to live the way that they are. And if you wait, or rock bottom is just wherever that you stop, wherever there's a saying that rock bottom is where you quit digging. And the way that the consistent thing, and it doesn't matter the age or the where they come from or who they are or their economic situation, it's the feeling inside is rock bottom. And when you are feeling that drugs or alcohol have taken over your life, and that the world would be better off without you, then you're at rock bottom. And you don't have to go to jail. You don't have to go to the hospital. You don't have to cause angst in your family. And sometimes people ask me, you know, how do I know that I need treatment? What is the criteria? How far down do I have to go? And my answer is always that if drugs and alcohol are consistently interfering with having a good life, then it's probably something that you should take a look at, and at least talk to somebody and see if you can't turn it in the other direction. And we have a college program now that we're finding great success with this.
Okay.
And instead of waiting for these guys to have to go to treatment for a long time, when we're seeing the university that we're working at is very proactive, so when they start getting in trouble, we put them in a community of kids that aren't drinking and using, and they're doing some therapies, and we're seeing great success with that.
To kind of be a good influence.
Yeah, don't wait. I mean, it's a lot easier to turn this back and go in a better direction before it gets out of hand.